Hi everyone, it's me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alanna and I'm a Canadian, but I have been living here in the UK for the past 6 years. Now, I often get asked, Alanna, how much money do I need to move to the UK? So let's figure it out. Now, unfortunately, to make this difficult, there are a lot of variables that will change this number, how much money you should have to move to the UK. So I am going to give you guys a general idea, and hopefully you can use this video as a jumping off point for your particular situation. If you like this video and you want to see more videos of what it's truly like being a foreigner living in the UK, please consider subscribing. But without further ado, let's go. Now, first things first, flight. Yes, you actually need to pay for a flight first before you can come to the UK. Thankfully, when you arrive in the UK on a visa, you do not have to have a round trip ticket. So in my humble opinion, I would suggest getting a one-way ticket. And let me tell you, the first time you buy a one-way ticket, it's strange. Now, of course, this is going to depend where in the world you are coming from. For me, I'm looking at Toronto to London, Gatwick. Obviously, there's lots of airports in the UK. It's a big place, multiple countries. I personally love London, Gatwick. It's close to where I have settled in the southeast of England. For me, I was looking for a one-way ticket in June. Again, depends when you're moving. June is starting to get more expensive because we are getting into the touristy season. If you get a one-way ticket Friday, Saturday, you could be looking at £300, £400. If you can travel midweek, some random day during the week, you're gonna get a way better price. So I found prices from like $170 to maybe $250. That's ideal. If you can travel and you can move midweek, you're gonna be paying less typically for your flight. Because who wants to go to the UK on a Tuesday? Not many people. And of course, the time of the year, it will differ as well. If you're traveling in the summer, if you're gonna move in the summertime, it's gonna be more expensive compared to when I moved in November. So keep that in mind. But for the sake of this video, let's say £200 for a one-way ticket. And it's only just the beginning. Number two, we need to think about our visa costs. Now, all the visas are different. They cost a different amount, but there are sort of two main fees when it comes to visas: the actual application itself and the NHS surcharge. Now, both of these fees are non-negotiable. There is an NHS surcharge, which is actually quite expensive. You may think, well, I won't use the NHS. Like, I won't have that privilege. I won't pay it. I won't use it. It doesn't work like that. You gotta pay it. Whether you use the NHS every day during your time here in the UK or you never use it, you gotta pay it. On top of that, some visas require you to have a certain amount of savings in your bank account so you can prove that you have access to that money. Basically, they don't want you coming here with no money to your name. You have to prove that you have some funds in the back. So that's something we'll also talk about. But of course, you're not paying for anything with that. You just need to prove that you have savings. So for the sake of this video, let's talk about the Tier 5 Youth Mobility Scheme visa. It's a mouthful. That is the visa that I first came to the UK on. That is a very popular visa, which lots of people who reach out to me are on that visa. So for the sake of this video, we're talking about a Tier 5. Now, at the time of filming, because this does change, the Tier 5 visa requires you to have £2,530 in savings. The application itself currently costs £259. Pretty cheap, to be completely honest. However, on top of that, we have the NHS surcharge. Now, on the Gov website, and this one does change a lot, it just keeps going up. Currently on the Gov website, it says the healthcare surcharge is £470 per year. Now, of course, most visas are not just for a year. The Tier 5 specifically is for 2 years. So in the end, the NHS charge that you're going to pay is 940 pounds. Now, to be completely honest, I have either been on or have renewed like 4 visas at this point, okay? And every time I apply for my next visa or I renew my current visa, I have to pay this surcharge every single time. So I've paid it about 4 times now for the 6 years that I've been here, and it is only going up. So make sure that you double check what the current price is before you start saving. Just a humble warning. Now, that means our grand total for the application and the NHS is 1,199 pounds plus evidence of our savings. Again, put a pin in that, we'll come back to it. Now, number 3, what you want to think about is, do you need a solicitor? Because let me tell you from personal experience, it's extremely expensive. Not a professional, my humble opinion from doing applications by myself and applications with a solicitor, only use a solicitor if you have a weird case, if you have a weird situation, if you are in something quite unique or you are in a difficult situation, only do it that way. If you are, say, applying for the Tier 5, the Tier 5 is the easiest out of all the visas. You do not need a solicitor for a Tier 5. Most visas, if you know that you can prove your case and you have all the documents, just do it yourself, okay? Save the money. But if you find yourself in a weird situation or in an unusual situation, then you're gonna need to look at perhaps hiring a solicitor or an immigration lawyer to help you. For the sake of this video, we are going to say you are not using a solicitor because that is just like another couple £1,000. And typically, you don't need it. But just something to keep in mind. Okay, next up. Cost of living. Give me a second. Now, currently in the UK, the cost of living in the UK is a hot topic because we're having a little bit of a struggle. I read the other day that inflation here has hit a 40-year high. So, when we talk about cost of living in this situation, you're moving to the UK, my humble, unprofessional opinion would be to potentially have 3 months worth of cost of living money available in case you can't get a job for a while. So the idea being, you move to the UK, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening all at once. You're trying to find a job, trying to find a place to live, trying to get settled. Say you get a job, most jobs pay you once a month. So say it takes you 2 months to get settled-ish, to get a job. You then have to wait, another month before you get paid. It's quite a long time to be living. Now, what kinds of costs or cost of living stuff are we talking about? That's going to be the big ones like rent, bills, transport, food, mobile. Kind of like things you need to survive. Now, for the sake of this video, we are going to look at London prices. Why? Most expats like to live in London. It's quite an expat immigrant hub, especially young expats who would be doing the Tier 5 visa. Everybody loves London. That's your own decision, not for me. So we're gonna pretend that you're moving to London. The thought process as well is that London is the most expensive. It is so expensive. So if we budget for living in London and then perhaps you live in a cheaper town or village, then you're gonna be okay because we've budgeted for the most expensive. Now, first things first, let's talk about monthly transport. The public transport in London is one of the best that I have ever used in the entire world, but it can be quite expensive. Now, for the sake of this video, we're gonna be a bit, I think, on the higher end, and I'm gonna say you're gonna spend £160 per month. What does that mean? Well, my thought process is that you're going to pay for a monthly travel card each month for 3 months. So travel cards give you unlimited travel in certain zones. It's expensive because it is unlimited travel, but the thought being that when you first arrive and you're moving around and you're traveling and you're trying to figure out where to live, you're also probably doing some touristy stuff. I think you're going to be moving around quite a bit. So let's say you get a monthly travel card for £160 per month. Now, once you settle and you have a flat and you have a job and you're probably going to be just commuting quite a bit between your flat and your job, at that point, you are likely going to be using like an Oyster card. So you will pay as you go and it will be much cheaper because likely you're not going to be moving around as much. But for this first initial period, let's say £160 per month. Next up, we have mobile or cell phone. Now, if you come from a country like me, Canada, America, when my mom told me how much she pays for her phone contract, I almost cried. Thankfully, it is very different in the UK. Currently, my plan is £10 a month. I get unlimited texts, I get unlimited calls, and I think I get about 12 gigabytes of data. I work from home. I don't need that much data. I also am able to use that allotment in a bunch of countries abroad rather than having to pay for like roaming costs and all that. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is cell phone plans and mobile plans and contracts are way cheaper in the UK than anything that I have personally experienced. So for a mobile, I'm going to budget us £10 a month for some type of contract. You probably won't be approved for a like yearly contract at first because they don't think you're going to be able to afford it because you don't have a job and you don't have like housing references, like you haven't lit, you know what I mean? Like you're probably not gonna get approved. I know I certainly wasn't. But at the beginning for me, I paid for a SIM, like pay as you go. I would put on £10 each month and I never needed to do more than that. So £10 for our phone. Next up, what do we have? We have groceries. Okay, food shopping. Well, this is a little bit subjective depending on how much you like to eat and how well do you like to eat. For the sake of this video, I have done £200 per month. I personally budget a decent amount of money for food because I like to try new food. I like to cook. I like to eat. So I'm happy to budget more money into this category. Do I think you can get away with less than £200 per month? Yes. Keep it in mind though, if you do live in London, things are expensive. Personally, I don't want to have to eat Aldi beans on toast every night. Like to try different things. So I'm going to say £200 per month. Can you spend more than that? Yes. Could you spend less than that? Yes. Now, what about an apartment? What about a flat? What about rent? What about bills? This one is tricky. Now, I went from Numbeo. I have a hard time saying that. Numbeo believes that you can get a one-bedroom apartment outside of the city centre in London for £1,280 per month. On top of that, for basic bills, we're looking at £248 per month. And on top of that, we have monthly basic internet at about £30 per month. I don't think that is the best option as an expat, as a foreigner, to come over here and get your own apartment. I think it's a little bit out of reach. Plus, they're going to want to see that you can afford it. And if you are applying for a flat and you have no job, good luck. Now, instead, I would look at resources like spare room. So as the title suggests, you're looking for a spare room. So you can filter by different places across the UK. You can put in different specifications. It's a great resource. Definitely check it out. Now, I found a room on Spare Room in Portobello, which is a pretty cool location. Obviously, you're going to have flatmates because you will not live in central London without them. For this particular one, you get a double room in Portobello with, I think, 3 other people. It is £750 per month, including bills. So rather than trying to get an apartment, so you have your rent costs, then you have to set up all your bills, this is £750 for all of that. Now, one of the stipulations is it is for a minimum of 3 months. So perhaps You rent this room for your first 3-month period, the 3 months that we are budgeting for. You get your feet, you figure out where you'd like to be. And at that point, you could then leave this rental. So it's a nice sort of short time frame, but at least you have a roof over your head. Now, on top of this listing wants a full month's rent as your deposit. So that is another £750. However, you're not really spending that because hopefully you're gonna get it back as long as you don't trash the place. So what does that mean for our dwindling bank account? Well, transport, our spare room plus included bills, our groceries, our mobile for 1 month is £1,120. Now, if we want to have enough for 3 months, that is £3,360 for our 3 months, plus that £750 that you need as a deposit. But I'm going to keep that separate because you should get that money back. Now, on top of that, of course, you're going to have things like going to the cinema. Typically, a cinema ticket in London is like £14. That is without popcorn. I know. All the things that can start adding up are going out to eat. So if you're going out to dinner or you're going out to the pub, that is going to add up. I know I went out in London, I had a cocktail, I think it ended up being like £12, and I had a pint like of beer or of cider for £6, and I almost cried. So if you are going to be going out and doing all this fun, cool stuff because you finally get to live in London and you're living life, yay, just remember, it costs money. I'm so sorry to remind you. Okay, we are down to the final numbers. Are you ready? Now, total costs for moving to the UK. Flight, £200. Visa, £1,199. 3 months of rent, which includes our bills, which is £2,250. On top of that, we need 3 months worth of groceries, which is £600. We need 3 months worth of travel cards or transportation, which is £480. We need 3 months of our mobile, which is a beautiful £30, which means we need £4,759 plus £750 for our room deposit, which brings the total to £5,509. Fun! Now, the biggest cost, of course, is that cost of living, getting some of that money saved up. Do you need 3 months worth? It's really up to you. I would say 3 months is a good thing to aim for. If you are coming to the UK because you want a really specific job, you are looking for something in a particular field, you have to come to terms with the fact that it may take a while to get that job, especially as a foreigner on a visa. If you are coming to the UK, maybe you're coming to London, you want to work in a pub, you want to work in a restaurant or something, you do not care where you work. You are going to find a job much faster. Will it be as highly paid perhaps as something specialized? No, but you are going to get your monthly payments much quicker. And just for reference, for any of my Canadians watching, £5,509 is about 8,771 Canadian dollars. And for any of my American buddies, the same amount in British pounds is about 6,830 United States dollars. Yes, it is a lot of money and it's a lot to save up, but it is also really important to remember that as a foreigner on a visa, you are not allowed any public funds. So God forbid something horrible should happen, you can't get a job or you lose your job or you don't have money for rent or whatever, you are not going to receive financial help from the UK, all right? It's gonna be on you. So in my humble opinion, it's much better to have a larger cushion, a larger safety net, just in case. If we have any foreigners in the UK currently watching, hi, how's it going? Thank you so much for watching this video. I would love to know how much money you came to the UK on. For me personally, on this particular visa, the first time I moved over, I saved probably around £3,000 to £4,000. Now, obviously that is much less than the 5,000 that I am quoting, but I was never going to be living in London. So it was not on the cards. I was always going to live in the southeast of Kent. Now it is still a expensive area, but thankfully not like London. If you like this video and you'd like to see more videos about moving to the UK, check out this video where I share all of the British things that foreigners need. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye!